Well, anyway, but he was a good father then. He made furniture for us and when I was first grade for Christmas. And one of my jobs was go down to the basement and get a coal scuttle and bring up coal for Mother for her stove, kitchen stove. But I wasn't allowed to go to the basement then before Christmas. And I was just told I couldn't go down there, and I never questioned it. I just, okay, you just go along with whatever your parents say. So that's what surprises me. The kids will talk back to their parents. We never even thought about it.
Right.
Anyway, for my Christmas that year, he brought up it was like it was a cabinet with glass doors on the top for the dishes.
Oh, it sounds pretty.
And the bottom was closed. The two doors were closed. And then he had on the back of it the date that he had made it for.
Oh.
It was a really very, very nice piece of furniture.
Oh.
And he had even had it years later, or after I was married and gone. Donna and Nancy played with them. They were little girls.
Oh.
And I had one doll that I won at one of the fairs. It was opening night, and they didn't have everything all ready yet. And so, to attract people, Bella told my mother, put your hand on one of the numbers. You don't have to pay. So Mother says, put your hand on a number. So I did, number 11. Sure enough, I won a doll. And it was a girl doll. It was a doll about this tall.
Oh, cool.
And it had brown curls.
Oh, wow.
And a pretty blue silk dress. And I was carrying it around. We're so proud when we were going around looking at everything at the fairgrounds. It was just down the street, maybe 8 blocks from home. Mother just brought me and Betty and Helen. And Christmas time, we opened our Christmas gifts on Christmas Eve. And Betty and Helen each got new dolls. And I thought, gee, I wonder where my doll is. How come I didn't get one? Well, Mother gave me a little suitcase, and she had made all new clothes for Patsy. That was the name that I gave that dog.
Oh.
And she became like one of the family.
Oh.
And my mother always referred to her as Patsy. And ended up with Donna and Nancy finally playing with it. But the boys eventually, how young boys are.
Yeah.
Teasing. And they ruined the doll. They tore up one of the legs or something. They told me about it because I was already married and away from home.
Damn boys.
And Chris used to get a big kick out of the boys because that was knocking each other around.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way boys do. They fight. And one time, but Jack was the second oldest, and he was a gentle boy. He raised rabbits, but he was tall. He was very tall, but he would go to school, never caused any problem. And some of the boys got the idea that he was a coward. I guess he never was looking for trouble. He was never doing anything wrong. So they waylaid him one night on the way to their home out in the country. There was about 3 boys, I guess. And Gary tells it with pride. Gary was with him. And of course, you don't get involved when somebody's in a fight.
And Gary's younger. Gary's younger than Jack?
No, our Gary.
Oh.
My Gary.
Yeah.
His brother. He and Jack were very close buddies.
But who was older, Jack or Gary? Jack was older?
Yeah, Jack was the second boy.
Got you.
Bill was first, and then Jack.
Okay.
Gary came a few years later, but he was the next one. And then it was Pat, and then Dale, and then Don.
Well, what happened with these bully boys? What happened when they tried to waylay him?
He cleaned them all up.
Did he?
He did all by himself. Hit them all, got them all. Scared the hell out of them. They never touched him again. And Greg said it was really too bad that it was during Depression and they didn't have a football team where they went to school. Because he said sometimes they would be invited to Scrabble with the Frankfurt for practice.
Uh-huh.
He said he was so fast on the field they couldn't catch him. He said he would have been in state, would have won state award if he had had a chance to play in a regular pickleball game. He said he was
Wow.
really something.
Wow.
But he wasn't a very good student. He
So
wasn't.
he passed away in one of the wars, right?
Yeah, he was killed in the Korean War.
Korea.
He was already I don't think he was a sergeant, but he was a corporal.
What do you remember about that time? Did you guys get notified by mail, or did somebody come to the house?
He notified my parents, and I had a dream of my dad. And I woke up in the night, and I could see that my dad was very troubled about something.
Hmm.
And the next day, I got a call from mother on the phone.
Oh no.
He had died. And
You sensed that.
right after that, so I knew that's what the dream was about.
Were you married already?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I was about ready to have Connie. I was
Okay.
pregnant for Connie,
Oh.
but I did go. I went, and I don't know how I got. I guess I went on the train probably because at that time the train depot stopped right in Alberta, and so my dad picked me up, and then we went to the funeral, and he was buried in the cemetery in Cadillac, where all the rest of the